I started this project by cutting some 2x4s to rough length and then skin planing them on both sides to get rid of the rounded edges.
Homage got the vibe.
I then ripped them on my table saw for a uniform width and cut them to length on my miter saw. I'm using pocket holes for the assembly, so I drilled them out, then sanded the pieces smooth with my orbital sander. After that was done, I applied glue to the edges, clamped them together, then drove the screws in. For the cross beams of the table, I repeated the same process as before. I used a tape measure to mark the center of where the beams would be placed. Place the beams accordingly, and then check for square. I used a long bar clamp to prevent the beams from moving when driving the screws in. Since I'm using reclaimed boards, I needed to cut the ends with staples off and then rip them in half on my table saw. Pass them through my joiner to get a flat bottom, then through my planer to get a flat, parallel, and uniform thickness. After that, I passed one edge through the joiner to get a straight edge and marked it so I wouldn't get confused. I forgot to record it, but I then passed the new straight edge along the fence of my table saw and ripped them to their final width. And marked a rough placement of where the slats would go, so I knew where to drill the pocket holes. Alright, so I messed up, broke my drill bit. I was drilling the hole in here and I accidentally hit the other screw and broke the tip off. Oops. Luckily though, I have another set, so I should be okay. Just gotta use the new one. Luckily I don't have to go to the store, so I can keep working. Once I was done drilling all 10,000 pocket holes, I sanded all the slats down, including the frame. Now I'm going to go ahead and pre-stain all the wood and the base, and after that dries, I'll go ahead and apply the stain. Once the first stain was dry, I applied a second coat of a darker stain to help give the wood more depth. I installed the middle slat first as a starter piece. I clamped it down and installed 2 screws to hold it in place. I then used a wooden stirring stick as a spacer to push the next board against for even spacing. I clamped it down and installed 2 screws to that as well. I repeated the process until the top was done, then I cut the top to its final dimension using my track saw. Since I cut new edges on the wood, it exposed fresh wood, so I sanded the edges down again and stained them like before. I applied a couple coats of polyurethane to seal the wood for outdoor use. While that dried, I moved on to the reclaimed base. I started by hand sanding the entire thing. This smoothed out the surface as well as making it rough enough for the paint to adhere properly. After I was done sanding, I wiped the entire base down with a rag dipped in water with TSP. Once that dried, I applied an outdoor primer and paint in black. Now that the top coat has fully cured, I'm going to use some paste wax and some steel wool to help smooth everything out, and then I'll install the base to the tabletop and I'll be done. I really like how this table turned out. I like the look of the slatted top and the use of 2 stains. I think it's one of my favorite projects I've done so far. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you like this video, please hit the like button as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And please consider hitting the subscribe button for future content. Thanks for watching and goodbye.